Alright traders, good afternoon. It is the 11th of April 2020. Aussie dollar chart here. What this is going to be is a watch list video for next week. Yesterday's video was a trading recap on the Aussie dollar, how I went long a couple times on it, and honestly it should have just been one trade. Really still should be open, but it's not. So I find being too harsh is not good either. So it is what it is, and I've just sort of noticed, where the Aussie dollar finished for the week, and obviously these candles here are very low just because of the Good Friday. There was no real, trading happening to end the week, in the US session. So, when I'm just bringing this up, it's definitely still long, and a couple of factors, play into my mind. I'll go to, first of all, to the daily, just to observe some recent resistance levels. What I do like is the amount of space to the left. So the last time we traded here was, when was it? The 11th of March. So we're talking, it's been a month, and where it is currently, look, the only issue is it's had the whole week, it's made higher highs. So what I'd like to see on Monday is a little bit of a pullback. Now, what I am watching as well is how the US index closed. I'm just using TradingView for this, and the US index as well has some room to still go. I mean, we could see it go down to 98, where it really had a nice little turnaround. So we could see some downside here on the US index, which would help strengthen this Aussie buy trade. I mean, I've got some strong resistance up here at 66, pretty much 67 flat. It is. I just had to really look at that. My eyesight's not fantastic, which is embarrassing because I'm so close to the screen already. So that's something to watch out for. A stop loss placement is going to have to be based from seeing how it trades on Monday. I won't go super wide. I'd be looking for a little bit of a breakout. Let's just draw a little rectangle in here just to have a visual cue as well. Hope everyone's having a nice weekend so far as well. Staying inside, respecting social distancing. So just from the low of that candle, the high of that candle, that's sort of where we're at. And you could even have the stop down here at the low, which is around 63.12, so maybe 63.10, 63 flat even. If you're someone that likes a little bit of OCD, like a nice clean number, which I'd probably be doing. And this keeps the maths easy as well. If you're risking like 50 pips, you sort of, how I use that for is if let's say if we get in at like 63.70, if it moves to like 64.20, I'd be moving the stop to break even. To be honest, it's sort of moved in my favor really, where it's good to protect the capital. And then for me anyway, if that's happened, and I may even add another small position, so I'd scale into this, and I'd add half a percent, another 0.5%. If it gets to 1R or so, not necessarily 1R. It's just if it's good price action, it's really proving itself. I'm going to protect some gains. But that's the Aussie dollar trade and the index. Now I did on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I posted this on the euro as well. So it's trailing over that resistance level, and it range bound as well, as it was a slow session on Friday. So if we go to the daily, so put it all together, and a little bit of a neutral candle there as well. I just need to sip some water here, guys. I'm sorry. It's been very warm today in Perth. It's approaching mid-April, and it was 38 as the high. So over 100 Fahrenheit for my US viewers, which is hot. I mean, we're coming into autumn, so it's like you'd think it starts cooling down, but it's okay. So, and if you just look at the structure here, the thing with the coronavirus is it's still really causing a lot of issues with the US, and we could really see a capitulation with economic activity and the employment situation. So even though things are really bad in Europe as well, Britain is right now leading things, and they're not in the EU, so we could see the euro strengthen a little bit. Again, though, I'll pay attention to the index as well, and just Monday I like to stop and collect things, collect key points, what people are saying, what the market's doing, what the index is doing, and then sort of go from there. And I like to just jump in. That's not really. There could be nothing. Could be nothing at all. I mean, the Aussie could ease down a little bit, but if it does, it's maybe a sell. So I can, if you do watch things and then you see me put a video the complete opposite of what I said, it's not like I'm trying to mislead anyone. It's just the market will do what it does, and you've got to be quite adaptable, which has taken me a little while to wrap my head around. I just want to go over gold as well, which just like to get in on this long. I mean, if we go to the weekly chart, I was talking to a colleague or trading friend, sorry, and we were talking about it, and it looks like things aren't in panic mode. So people are buying things again, and it sort of looks like the equity markets are just not in some sort of craziness, because we saw at a point where everyone was selling everything. And now there is uncertainty in the market, but it's measured, and it looks like that uncertainty is sort of driving the price of gold a little bit. So obviously it's still got a little bit of work to do to get to the high of 1703 and to see how it reacts as well. But I mean, an aggressive position could be if Monday trades fine and holds up, you just hold it. And the problem though, account you want a wider stop because of the volatility. So I mean, some accounts I won't be able to take this, to be honest, but it's worth talking about. And USD CAD I want to mention as well. Probably the pound as well. Let's mention the pound. Some more water. Cool. I don't like to keep these too long. Pound's pretty flat, so it's not really interesting me that much. Although that sort of looks like it wants to break out, so I'll continue to watch that. And just the pound yen on some risk sentiment. What's going on there? Go to the daily. I gotta go to the daily. It's bounced. Holding. We'll see here. I'll watch this. This is interesting. Let's go to Euro Pound. I talked about selling this, and it has done nothing. So I didn't. I think it was this candle here, potentially. No, this candle here. This candle here, and I waited for it to close, and then it did not want to do anything, and I was like, nope, not interested. And I'm glad, because it's been just very, the stock would have probably been above that candle there. So, and I talked about it, but no, I didn't take it. USD CAD. So even though the price of oil, it eased off. There's a lot of chatter about things. They haven't really worked it out in regards to production cuts. So, but then the US dollar sort of eased off as well, down to 99.50, like I just showed you with the index there. So, when these things don't line up, I'm not interested. So I'm going to leave that one. I do want to have a look at silver. And silver actually is it's not too bad. I did notice it was at times the spreads were a bit wide, so I didn't really talk about it because I had no intentions of taking the trade. Although it's it's interesting. It was sold off heavily, and now if we go to the daily, it's sort of bounced and it's holding. So I thought I'd click the daily. Actually, to be honest, it's sort of missed the meat of them. I mean, really. This was it, and okay, so I might have to leave that. Alright, USD yen. A little bit of a snapshot of risk sentiment here, range bound, and so it ended weaker for the week after it sort of rallied a little bit as well. And then the USD Swiss, I'll bring up the weekly just to give you. This is a bit of a trend line, and it's been quite choppy. So I think I'll leave that for now. No real clear idea. It might just sort of find its way back to the trend line for a retest. If it does, that's maybe a short, but right now there's no trade, and I'm going to finish up there, guys. So I'll continue to watch the Aussie, see what the index does Monday. Maybe a Monday night entry for a small position, then we'll see what it wants to do. But everything has to line up first. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and bye for now.